Car Show with Steve Rinaldo and Jim Weber.
Good morning and welcome to America's Web Radio and the Classic Car Show. And we've got Mr. Steve Rinaldo in at the round table. We're supposed to have a guest calling in momentarily, Mr. Jeff Dreyfus, the carburetor doctor, is supposed to be calling in and for the first segment, and we hadn't heard from Jeff yet, so he might have overslept. We don't know.
Yeah, you never know with this kind of weather.
That's true, and I don't. Well, anyway, yeah, I could have slept in myself, as a matter of fact, for a little while.
Yeah,
but you can't do that in this business. You have to come in anyway. So,
yeah, well,
and
yeah,
I appreciate you being here.
There's this weekend here in Atlanta, the weather is just supposed to be horrible. Rain all day today and tomorrow, and there's tons of car events going on this weekend that I think are going to be, if not rained out, there won't be a whole lot of participation.
They'll be rained on, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Raining on their parade.
Yeah, I think so.
That's too bad because we've had pretty weather and at the same token, though, needing the rain. So
yeah,
I guess we're doing what we need.
Yeah, you can't. Nobody's ever happy with the weather.
No, but in Atlanta, you wait a few minutes and it'll change. It's like you and I were talking before the show. I kept driving through. I'd be in one spot and it was pouring down. I'd be, 2 seconds later, it'd be dry. 2 seconds later, it'd be wet. But that's Atlanta.
Really odd.
That's Atlanta, Georgia. So we hope everybody's having a good weekend and getting ready for Father's Day next weekend and more car stuff going on.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
I'll do a little announcement in that they contacted us, which was nice. And did you know that come October, Las Vegas is going to have their first annual Concours d'Elegance? They've never had one in Las Vegas.
That's a surprise. I would have thought that place would have
had them all the time.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
But no, they contacted us, and we'll be doing some advertising for them. They're going to be doing a couple of our shows, sponsoring a couple of shows for us in August and September. So we're giving them a little free publicity.
Good.
And if you're interested in the Las Vegas area, or you live in the Las Vegas area, well, you need to check out their new Concours d'Elegance.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It should be one thing about it. They shouldn't have to worry about being rained out.
No, but when it does rain there, it rains there.
And half of the desert comes floating down the road.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant place. Anyway, I got something that's kind of interesting. My 37 Cadillac, that car always had bad steering. It just never steered like I thought it should. So I figure, well, I'll go ahead and tackle that job. So I called my friend, the tech editor for the Cadillac LaSalle Club. Huh?
I can hear your hand.
Oh, anyway, he sent me a out of an old Motors manual. He sent me the how to adjust the steering box stuff, because the Cadillac shop manuals and most shop manuals of that era were written for the service professional, not for the home guy or the local, just the independent guy. So there, in the service manual, it just says adjust the steering box. It doesn't give you the procedures. Anyway, so I followed that, tightened it, still had a lot of free play. So I called my buddy up in Ohio and see what he had. He has the biggest General Motors restoration shop in the country. And he said, well, I'll tell you this. It's got the strangest steering system on it, coming down from the gearbox, it's the Pitman arm. And then a lot of times that's just connected to a pivot point straight ahead on an axle. Well, a lot of the big cars had a center pivot, which supposedly made steering easy. And Doug said, I guarantee you, if you take that they call it either called a drag link or steering idler arm in the old days. Anyway, he said, if you take that thing apart, you're going to find a broken spring. And because how it's put together is you have a ball at the end of the pitman arm, a ball at the end of the center pivot, and there's pieces in there, but they're held in place, or they have springs behind them to give you a little free play and also to make the steering a little easier. Well, anyhow, I said, well, I'll see. And sure as could be, I took that pitman arm apart and found a broken spring on the on the pitman arm side of that drag link or idler. And then I called Doug back and he said, yeah, I figured you would. He said, I got a kit made up for you. He said, it was very common on the big cars like Cadillacs, Packards, Pierce Arrows that use that. And they all use that kind of system, that that those springs would break simply because of the weight of the car that you're trying to get the steering to move in. So he said, I'm sending you a kit. So it was really, it's kind of an odd thing. If you, anyway, like I said, there's an unscrew plug at the end of that drag link, and then all the pieces come out, and you put it back together, and then you adjust it. There's a thing you tighten up as tight as it'll go, and you have to have a special tool to do it. I made one. And then you back it off like one turn or to the closest cotter pin hole that you can to line the slot up and put the cotter pin through. And it's amazing the difference it makes. That car steers now like it's got power steering. Of course, when the car stops, or you're stopped and you're in a parking lot or somewhere, just trying to get it moving and making a turn in a parking lot situation, it still takes an effort, but nothing like it did before. So for any of you guys that have these older cars and have a setup like that, it might be worth checking. And you're always, God, this car steers hard. It might be worth checking to see if you don't have a broken spring, because Doug said the big cars especially, he said almost everyone we get in here has between 1 and 4 broken springs. So he had a company, and I'm not sure who it was, make up a special heavy-duty spring kit for those things in it, and it sure made a huge difference. So again, something worth kicking around or taking a look at, because I never would have thought that in a million years. And I'm really glad we have people that you can contact that have the knowledge and the expertise to do this stuff. So the Cadillac should be pretty much ready to go on the next tour, and that'll be the Glidden tour in October in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Will be the next one of the next tour for it. We're getting ready to go to.
Well, we are sort of. I tell you what, sometimes the bear gets you, and sometimes you get the bear. And Mr. Dreyfus and I got Dreyfus and I sort of got our wires crossed. Not him, me, and but we have Andy Snow on the line, and Andy is with the auction that's coming.
Yes.
So let me transfer him in, and we'll get going with Andy.
Hello, Andy. Oh. Well, anyway, yeah, he's holding the first national auction we've had in the Atlanta area in years. Hello?
Okay, Andy should be on the line.
I can hear.
All righty. Now you should be able to hear us okay.
Hello, Andy.
He's there.
I can't hear you all great.
Okay, well, it's as we talk, I'll bring everybody up, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
So, yeah, how you doing, Andy?
I am doing great. How are you?
Good. Where are you this week?
Well, this week I'm actually at home. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 5 minutes. Let's see, it's 10 minutes after 5 in the morning, and I'm alive and well and breathing unassisted.
This way you should appreciate us calling and getting you up. That way you can after the show, you can go work out for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that'll be in my dreams.
And we don't charge extra for this alarm service.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a great service. Boy, you all were right on time.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about your auction that's coming up, and when and where, and how to contact, and then we'll talk about some of the cars that are coming.
Okay. It's Vicari auction. You know, we're returning to Atlanta, and we couldn't be happier. The dates are June the 28th and 29th, which is a Friday and Saturday, the end of the month. And it's going to be held right by the airport at the convention center that's there. I'm trying to think of the name of it, and I will here in just a minute. It's the, what in the world is the name of that place?
The convention center.
Well, yeah, convention center. There we go. But it's absolutely stunning. It's you can get on a tram at the airport if you're flying in, and it'll take you right to the auction. It's the very first stop. If you live in Atlanta, you probably are familiar with the facility. I mean, it's absolute. I was blown away. It was gorgeous. They rolled out the red carpet for us. The folks there could not be more friendly. And there's tons and tons and tons of parking available.
Okay. Well, yeah, for people that are here, the easiest way to get there is there's two ways. Off of 285, take the Camp Creek Parkway exit and head towards the airport. And as you get really close, you'll see the convention center on your right. And if you come on 85, take the airport exit off of 85 to the main terminal, and you can get on Camp Creek from there. So you have two easy ways to get there off of Camp Creek Parkway.
Or take MARTA.
Yeah, you could take MARTA to the airport, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the name of it is the Georgia International Convention Center.
Oh, well, I didn't know it had all that extra stuff. It's just the convention center.
It's a wonder it's not named after someone.
Yeah, not yet.
Well,
it will be.
When somebody writes a big enough check, it'll be named after somebody.
Yeah, the Home Depot Convention Center.
Well, there's a convention center type facility in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that for years and years was called the Quick Trip. You know, Quick Trip is like a
sure
7-Eleven type store. And then there was a casino that bought the sponsorship, and now it's called the River City Convention Center. So it's just people change when they write more checks.
Yeah,
so.
the baseball isn't the new Atlanta Braves stadium is going on because SunTrust, who built it or was the first sponsor, now is going to become something else. So everything changes all the time with whoever's got the biggest wallet.
Mercedes.
The Mercedes-Benz Stadium downtown. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
The Andy Snow.
Yeah, Andy Snow Convention Center.
Convention Center. That has a good ring to it.
Yeah.
Well, I got a check for $5. It'll be in the mail, and that'll last. It won't even last till the check gets there.
The postage is almost more, and no guarantee it'll get there.
All right, let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk about Vicari first. What I know that we've talked before. What sets Vicari apart from Barrett Jackson, from Auctions America, from all of those places?
Or whatever.
No, Mannheim's the dealer thing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but what I know, there's some things that you guys do that set you apart from the rest of the industry.
Well, we're a family auction. And by that, what I mean is when people come to our sale, they feel welcome, they feel at home, and they know they're going to enjoy themselves. There's no pressures. There's no fighting to be on television, to be seen on television. And some of the stuff that occurs in a lot of auctions today, we don't have 2,000 cars or 1,000 cars or 3,000 cars. We have 400 to 500 cars. And I got to tell you, that's a lot of work, doing 400 to 500 cars. And to try to get good cars, you got to work at it. And we do. So people can come, they can be relaxed. It's in many ways, it's a social event. They come to see their old friends. Our bidding fees, registration fees are all reasonably priced. In Atlanta, we're charging 8% to buy a car. And some of the other guys now they were at 10%, now they're charging 12%. We charge 8% to sell a car. Or you sell it no reserve or bring 6 or 8 cars, we can cut that down so that the people bringing the cars are not going to have to pay 12% to sell a car, or 15%, or whatever it is. I mean, they're just charging more and more. We haven't done that. Our entry fees are $200 to $350, depending on the time of the day that the cars sell. That's a whole lot different than $1,500, which some of the guys are charging. Now, having said that, we specialize in collector cars that, I'm going to use the term affordable. We don't start at 100,000 and go up. We don't sell a lot of $1 million cars.
Andy, can we stop there
ahead.
and take our first break, and we'll get back and talking about what you all do sell. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio. Just talking to you about antique car insurance. I think that if you're looking for the best coverage for your classic car, consider J.C. Taylor Insurance. They've been my insurer for years in this hobby and have the top rating of all of the insurance companies in the hobby. When you get ready for insurance, call J.C. Taylor or visit jctaylor.com on the internet.
45 years of experience is behind the most trusted name in auto transportation. Passport Transport, the first and finest today. That's why Passport Transport is the preferred auto transport for major auto manufacturers, concours, museums, tours, and collectors, and should be your choice from across the state to across the country. When you have the need, go to PassportTransport.com and enjoy the peace of mind referenced experience will give you. Passport Transport.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And we're back with Andy Snow, and we're talking about the auction that's coming up here very shortly in Atlanta. Tell us the date and the times and all that, Andy.
It's June the 20th. It's Friday and Saturday, June 28th and 29th. The doors will open at 9 a.m. and the memorabilia will start selling, automobilia, if you will start selling at 11. The cars will start selling about noon.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's again, it's just going to be a lot of fun. We hope to be over the end of the day by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. We're not going to try to keep you there till 8, 9 o'clock at night. It's just a relaxed atmosphere.
The thing I like that we talked about before, which I think really sets this apart from the others, is that guarantee that you guys have about the cars. That's very impressive to me.
Well, to us, it's natural. We don't look at it. It's not a written guarantee. It's a common sense thing that we've done since the day we had the first auction. And Mr. Vicari, Pete, everybody calls him Pete, just thought it was fair, and I do too. What happens occasionally is a car gets grossly misrepresented. And you buy something that it's not the way we advertised it. Now, we don't do the advertising. We're actually not, when I say that, we don't write the descriptions. The customer provides us with the description of the car. It's not our car. So, car comes in, the client describes the car. Let's say they say it's matching numbers. And the car is not matching numbers. It's not even remotely close to matching numbers. But the man who brought us the car has bought that car from somebody, and he said, well, I've got it right here. Those numbers are matching. And we said, well, sir, it's not. So anyway, he sells the car, but the guy who buys the car says, hey, I paid for a car that's matching numbers. This one is not matching numbers. And so I don't want the car. So initially we'll try to work it out at a reduced price. If the guy said, well, you like the car, what you don't like is that it's not matching numbers. Would you like it for less money? Well, sometimes they say yes, and the seller says, well, my gosh, I certainly didn't know that the car was misrepresented. And he said, yes. He said, if that's what it's worth, that's what it's worth. So then we got a happy buyer and happy seller. Well, and sometimes the seller and the buyer don't get together. The buyer will say, no. He said, I bought that car because it was matching numbers. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. And the seller said, well, I didn't know about that. He said, what can we do? Well, what we do is we say, well, how about we'll buy the car from you? Whatever the sale price was, we'll buy the car. So it's now, and we do. So what happens when we do that is we have a happy buyer and a happy seller. There's no lawsuits. There's no threats. Everybody is happy, including us, the auction company. You say, well, Andy, how could you guys be happy when you just had to pay for that car? Well, we didn't throw the money away. We now have an asset. The car is an asset to our company. We do 4 auctions a year, so we will resell that car. And several things occur. One, we're not paying an entry fee to sell the car because it's our car.
It's your car, yeah.
Auction. Right. We're not paying a seller's fee, a seller's commission. We're not, we don't charge ourselves to sell cars. And we're not, whoever buys the car is paying a buyer's premium. So we're going to get 8%. We've got the car, whatever it sells for, plus an additional 8%. Believe it or not, we normally will make money. We'll normally still sell it and come out. If we don't make money, we'll generally at least break even.
Or close, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and look, if we lose a couple of $100 or even a couple of thousand on one car, that is not the end of the world. But it sure was worth whatever it cost for the goodwill of our customers.
Sure.
Everybody is happy.
I agree. I think it's a great program. I don't know of any of the other ones that do things like that.
Andy, I'm going to interrupt you, and we'll go to a break. If we lose you, we're about to get into a very heavy storm. We can hear it thundering and lightning as we're speaking, and I just went on to the radar, and it looks like we're fixing to get pounded. So we'll keep going, but if something happens, I just want everybody to know that the weather got us today. So we'll be back with Andy right after a couple of words. Be right back.
Thank
okay.
you.
Your auto love and investment demands the best, and for 45 years, Passport Transport has been meeting those demands. From manufacturers to the one-car collectors and all other facets of the auto industry and antique auto hobby. The first and the finest with unequaled service and peace of mind. Passport Transport, your auto transportation company. Contact PassportTransport.com with your need today. Passport Transport.
Hi, my name is Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio, talking to you about antique car insurance. In this hobby that I've been part of for years, not all insurance companies and insurance coverage is the same. I would suggest that you call J.C. Taylor or visit jctaylor.com to find out some information about some of the best antique car insurance you can get, such as agreed value insurance for your classic car. Again, when you get ready to insure your classic, antique, or even your street rod, call J.C. Taylor Insurance or visit jctaylor.com.
My name is Kyle Hayes, a motorsports student at Alfred State College. Every year, Alfred State
Andy, I'm sorry,
Great
but
Race,
we are
cross-country time endurance rally
about to get
vehicle.
whammed.
As you can imagine, it's pretty costly.
Okay, gosh, that's too bad. By the way,
can make it possible
we've got the plane car coming to the auction.
The what?
Please visit our site at
Plane, like an airplane. It's right there in Atlanta. Very well-known car, plane car. You can Google it.
All right, we'll talk about that when
You're
we're coming
listening
back
to America's
shortly,
Web
okay?
Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And we're back on the Classic Car Show with Andy Snow, and we, as I mentioned, if we happen to lose you or lose everyone, we are sitting right under. In fact, normally we can't even hear it, but we're hearing the thundering and seeing the lightning that's going on right on top of us at the moment. So if we go off the air suddenly, Georgia Power has just taken one, or we've just taken one.
Yeah.
Or somebody has.
This weekend is not going to be a good one for car stuff.
So anyway, we're back with Andy Snow, and y'all were talking about the, I guess, guarantee.
The guarantee. I don't know of any other of the auction houses, the national auction houses, that do this. I don't know of anyone, because I know I've had calls from people who have bought cars and auctions that were misrepresented, and it's just that, well, what they tell them is, well, it's not our responsibility. You need to talk to, it was the owner.
Well, that's, by contract, that's true. However, one guy to another guy, it's not always right.
No.
Andy, I'd like to throw out something. I can't afford to be in the classic car business, but having the radio show, and we've interviewed, I don't know how many, over 15 years, 16 years that we've been doing this. But the one thing I will say, I would bet that in all of your experience with this guarantee, there's never been maybe one bad apple, but not many bad apples that intended or to try to lie or cheat or take advantage of somebody. The people in this hobby and industry are just good people, and I don't think anybody's intentionally. Have you probably haven't seen very many that the intent was to defraud.
I don't know. That part is true. But I will tell you, nothing today surprises me.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
Now, I'll give you an example of a matching numbers car where we sold a car that was advertised as matching numbers. Now, we do take steps to protect both the buyer and the seller, by the way. And people probably should be aware of it. So we had a guy that 6 months after he bought the car called. He said, I'm bringing the car back. I want to talk to you. He said, I bought this car as a matching numbers car, and it's not matching numbers. So we said, okay, bring it on back and we'll take a look. Bring it back to the office. And so he brought the car back. This was the Lake Auction Company in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he brings the car back and he said, take a look at this. He said, I bought this. And I said, well, why'd you wait 6 months to figure this out? And he said, I was busy. I just never bothered to look at the car. He said, I travel in my work, and he was enlisted. He was in the service. and he did travel a lot. So we said, okay, let's go in office. We'll go through this. And what we do when a car comes in, if the number is we ask all of our customers. We want photo documentation. So we don't have a problem with numbers matching anything. But we want you to photo document, and we'll put that, so we can show that to the buyer. Well, what had happened, I don't know what happened, but we had a picture of the man's car with the numbers matching engine when it came into our sale and when it left our sale. We photo document the cars. And it was in the file. And he was in the office, and you could tell he was very uncomfortable. Have I told y'all this story?
No.
Not.
Well, first of all, what is numbers matching? I bet some of our people listening have no idea what numbers matching means.
It could mean a lot of different things. It could mean the engine is matching. We have a checklist as to what matches, what numbers match. The drivetrain, it could be a lot of different things. And you can check off on this list what matches specifically. So that eliminates any confusion as to what you're buying. Well, when we showed this to this man, you could tell he was becoming extremely uncomfortable. Now, we could have said, look, you're going to have to keep this car because the numbers match. When you left here, the proper engine was in the car. Well, that's a bad implication. It implies the guy switched engines. What we told him, we said, look, you've been around. You've been traveling, you've been doing this. Whoever you had do some work on the car switched engines on you. That's the only thing we can figure out. We never accused the man of switching the engine.
Huh.
And you could tell he was relieved. He also agreed that he was keeping the car. So whether he was trying to, slip one by on us, or that's probably what it was. But who knows? Who knows what happens?
Yeah, I'm sure you run into it. Like one of the more famous ones is Series 1 fuel-injected Corvettes, up to the 61s and 2s and 60s.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't make many of them. And
they got more of them now.
Oh yeah, all 6,000 of them show up at the Bloomington Gold Meet.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. It is, and it. I don't know. People like that just why don't you go do something else? What about some of the cars? What kind of interesting stuff do you guys have?
We have one car that has generated just so much interest. There's a local guy, local to Atlanta. Well, he lives, I think, in Roswell. That owns a vehicle that's gotten a lot of publicity. It's called the plane car, like an airplane. Plane car. One word. And it's exactly, and if you Google it, it'll blow you away. It's half airplane. I think it was a Cessna combined with a Toyota, I believe. And it's the most incredible car you ever want to see.
So it wasn't made. It was. It wasn't a company. It was a person made car.
Yes, and it's, by the way, there is now a company that's starting to make them, but this is the original. This is the prototype, and it's really a nice looking car.
Strange.
So
I'm surprised I've never seen that thing around here.
Well, you wouldn't forget it.
Yeah.
Once you saw it.
It sounds like an article that should be in Popular Mechanics or Popular Science in the 50s.
It's correct.
You remember those things? You remember
Yeah.
they had one, and they towed a trailer with the wings and stuff on it,
Right.
and you
Absolutely.
pulled off to the side of the road and attached your wings and stuff, and there you left.
Do you remember what the show was about?
No. This was an advert. This was a story in Popular Mechanics.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
do you remember
Yeah.
the TV show?
No.
Oh, yeah. He was a photographer, and it was Bob.
Cummings.
Bob Cummings, exactly. Yeah. And,
I remember. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he always had
Yeah.
cute girls hanging around with him.
Yeah, Robert Cummings. And
Yeah.
and then he had, I don't remember her name. He called her Schultze. She was.
Yes, she was the maid she became the maid, I think, on the Brady Bunch, right?
That's right. That's right. You know, I'm looking at some of the stuff we have coming, and it's just, we have such an incredible lineup. There's over 200 cars already up online if you want to look at
Wow.
thecar8.com, or when you get around to looking. We have a 1901 and 1903 Oldsmobiles.
Yeah, Curb Dash.
And, yeah, one of them is, yes, absolutely. One is a 2-passenger and one is a 4-passenger. They're replicas, but they're gorgeous. I mean, they're really very, very cool. We have a 1931 Chrysler Model 70. It's a touring car. Absolutely breathtaking if you look at it. And it has been resto modded. You know, people love that term, resto mod. I like the cars. If they're done nice, I like them because I don't know how many of you, if you've ever tried to drive a 31 Chrysler, but they're hard to drive. You know, or a L29 Cord. You know, it's like driving.
Yeah, that's
traffic.
a very hard car to drive.
Absolutely. Well, what they've done with this car is they've put a modern engine in it. They only made 1,700 of them total in 1931. They've put in power windows, you know, but they've done it in a way without destroying the integrity of the car. It's got air conditioning. It's got disc brakes. What they've done is fix it so you can drive it and have fun on a car cruise without work. You know, it's going to get you home and back.
All right, here's a loaded question. If that were completely originally restored to a #1 condition versus this resto mod, which one do you think would be the highest value?
You can flip a coin on that particular car.
You think so?
It's it's very desirable either way.
Andy,
Probably
did they
the original car, in that case, I believe the original car would bring more money.
Andy, did they put the air conditioning under the hood, or did they have to put a trunk model in?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I haven't. I'm only, you know, I'm looking at pictures of it, but I haven't seen the actual car to inspect it yet.
Is it? I wonder if it's a local car.
I don't even know that.
I wonder. I don't know. I've not seen that one either. But I don't get to a lot of the local events like some of my buddies do. They go all the time to stuff. Anyway, we were talking about. And we can come back to this a little bit. You and I the other day were talking about what you see is happening to values of certain cars going up, some cars going down, and as this is your business, where do you see this stuff going? That's all. That's the question that always comes up. Where is this hobby go? And if you go on the AACA or horseless carriage forums or any of the single forums like Model A's, there's always this discussion topic. Where is this hobby going?
Well, good question. The two things. Quality will always hold its value. Now, you have to describe, well, what is quality? some of the older classics, people say, well, they've really come down in value because the amount of people interested in buying them is diminishing, and that's true. They take up a lot of room. That's true. You know, they're big cars.
Yeah, I do know.
You can only get one of them on a normal car trailer. You can't, or an enclosed car trailer. You can't get two of them on there. Even people that collect them complain about that. But the top ones that are done to the nines, which is not a car that I personally would ever want, hold their value. But you also don't see people driving them and having fun on car cruises. God forbid, you know, they're going to get a little rock chip or a little ding or, you know, something when you're out there driving around the country. So those cars are not as desirable because the people that really want them are dying off, and the ones that have them are selling them in many cases. The industry and has not changed. The buyer has changed. We're getting a lot younger buyer. We used to have most of our clients were 50 and over. Well, that's not so today. You know, with the job market and with technology and some of the newer industries, which are high-paying industries, we're getting a lot of people in their 20s and 30s that have disposable income. You know, they would not be interested in this 1931 Chrysler. But they're going to be interested in some of these supercars, you know, the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, even some, you know, the high-dollar Corvettes, that type of stuff. So those are not cars that I personally want, but you know, a lot of people do, and we sell those. Not the real high-dollar ones, but we sell them.
Yeah.
The other thing is the younger guys trying to get into the hobby, which is always something we try to encourage. You know, I'm active in AACA, as you are, Steve, and we're always looking at ways to attract younger people. There's a company here called ClassicCars.com that every year in Phoenix they host a car show. It's grown to be quite a big deal because it's auction week, and it's called, the name of it is Future Classics, and we have a lot of the, in many cases, lesser expensive cars that are done up nicely. You know, it's like restoring or resto-modding this 1931 Chrysler. Well, they may do it with a Ford Falcon. But those cars are affordable. A guy can buy the car for, you know, whatever, not very much money, you know, probably $3,000-4,000, and then fix the car up, which can get expensive, but it's something that they like and they want, and they don't have to finish it in one day.
Yeah, I find that the new interest in the Japanese cars to be kind of unusual.
Yeah.
Because, see, I can't picture that, but it's of my age. Anyway, we're going to take a break. Andy, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi, this is Steve Rinaldo, host of the Classic Car Show on America's Web Radio. Just talking to you about antique car insurance. I think that if you're looking for the best coverage for your classic car, consider J.C. Taylor Insurance. I've been my insurer for years in this hobby and have the top rating of all of the insurance companies in the hobby. When you get ready for insurance, call J.C. Taylor or visit jctaylor.com on the internet.
My name is Kyle Hayes, a motorsports student at Alfred State College. Every year, Alfred State students compete in the Great Race, which is a cross-country time endurance rally for vintage vehicles. As you can imagine, it's pretty costly. I'm asking for your help. Your donation can make it possible for these students to live their passion and promote the vintage automobile industry. Please visit our site at give.alfredstate.edu and search Great Race to learn more and help us reach our goal. Thank you.
45 years of experience is behind the most trusted name in auto transportation. Passport Transport, the first and finest today. That's why Passport Transport is the preferred auto transport for major auto manufacturers, concours, museums, tours, and collectors. and should be your choice from across the state to across the country. When you have the need, go to PassportTransport.com and enjoy the peace of mind referenced experience will give you. Passport Transport.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
And we're back on the Classic Car Show with Mr. Andy Stone talking about the auction that's coming up. And Steve, I really want to push this because it's Andy, will you all continue to come back annually or year after year to do the auction?
Yes, and that's one of the reasons we have received so much support from the local people. We signed a 5-year agreement. It's not like we're going to come in and leave. We made a commitment, a financial commitment, for 5 years at this facility, at this convention center at the Atlanta airport. So, yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Your demographics, obviously, as we're sitting here, I know Steve is obviously into the cars and has his own collection. Do you get a lot of folks that are newbies coming to your auction and first-time buyers and so forth? Yes.
Yeah, we do. And a lot of it is because Steve is involved with the Caffeine and Octane in Atlanta, which is, it's a huge car show. And don't you see more and more younger people?
Well, you do it that, you do it that one because what's kind of funny, Mike Teese, as you know, he will save me a spot in a special area where they put the more unusual cars, but they have as many as 7,000 cars there. They fill that parking lot. And most of them are younger guys, except we can call it the old fart section where where the old cars are, or the like you said, the more unusual vehicles.
Right. So the more unusual or older cars attract a certain crowd, and the younger people are attracted to other cars. I'm glancing here at the very first page of our website, as to what cars are coming. I'm going to read them real quick. There's not that many of them, but there's 24, 20. Anyway, so there's a 73 Volkswagen Beetle, a 71 Pontiac GTO, a 76 Pontiac Ventura SJ, a 2004 Chevrolet SSR, a 2013 Corvette, an 86 Corvette, a 1965 GMC C10, 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser, a 1935 Packard 8.
That's for me.
Yeah, a 69 Corvette, a 51 Ford Country Squire. It's a Woody. It's beautiful. A 70 Corvette, a 64 Corvette, big block. I mean, that's a good car, nice car, expensive car. 68 Chevrolet Impala wagon. 2014 Tesla S70. That's their first little sport. No, it's not. I thought that was a little two-door. It might be. I can't see. 2001 Prowler. Plymouth Prowler.
Those are cool. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. A 1935 Auburn Speedster. A 58 Chevy Impala convertible. 81 Bronco. I love this car personally. A 57 Pontiac Star Chief convertible. Just beautiful. 65 GTO, Pontiac GTO. A 34 Ford Coupe. A 72 Plymouth GTX. 68 Roadrunner, Plymouth Roadrunner, a 64 Malibu. You go on and on and on.
So that's interesting. There's only 2 pre-World War II cars in that list.
That's correct.
And a whole lot more of 70s and 80s stuff than there is even 50s and 60s stuff.
Yeah. If we go further, we had one guy that brought us 50 cars to the sale, called us. And
50?
nice collect 50.
Wow.
Okay, and the first car I'm looking at his is a '56 Mercury Montclair coupe, and
those are cool. It's different.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, it's a cool car. So it's 34. Well, of course, this is a newer car. It's a '34 Ford Roadster pickup, but it's a very cool car.
Well, I get your drift. I can see from your list, and I never thought about that, but the demographics for both the people and the cars are definitely changing for the auction industry.
Right. That's exactly right.
So, but they do have a niche. We've talked about this before. You and I have that. Barrett Jackson has a niche. You don't see many old cars there. It's all newer stuff. Yeah, with an old one sprinkled in every now and then. And when you go to R&M or Goodings, you don't see many muscle cars. You see the big dollar Ferraris and the Porsches and the Lambos and that kind of stuff there. And you guys tend, I think, from what you're saying, you guys tend to sort of cater more to the younger, the new guys in this hobby.
Well, we try to cater to everybody, to be honest with you, and that's hard. But I'm looking at some of the older cars that we have. We have a '34 Ford sedan. We got a '33 Buick sedan. 28 Model A. This is not real old, but a 40 Ford Deluxe, gorgeous car.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, a 40 Ford Standard. We have a '57 Lincoln Continental Mark II, and I think those are the coolest cars. And
yeah,
I don't have one. I don't particularly want one, but I sure like them.
Yeah, those cars in the Buick Rivieras, the first generation Rivieras, are two of my favorite '50s and '60s cars.
Absolutely. We have '54 Chrysler New Yorker, beautiful.
We had one. My dad,
had one?
yeah, my dad had one when I was growing up.
Well, go down and buy you one.
They're great. They're great cars.
Oh, I remember it very well. And my dad and my grandfather would walk into the Chrysler dealership in Lubbock and each buy a car. And they just, they'd bend over backwards for them.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Anyway.
No.
Let me ask you a question about being a buyer, a bidder. Do you require a letter of credit, or how does somebody do that when they come?
If we know the person and if they have been with us, we normally will not require a letter of credit. If the person is brand new to us and we don't know anybody that knows the person, then we will ask for a letter of credit. A lot of times you can call me and say, Andy, I got a buddy of mine coming, I'll vouch for him. Just get him set up. Well, if it's his very first time, if he'll give us a letter of credit, fine. And if he won't, I'm not terribly worried about it.
Yeah, I can understand. Do you have a bank there? Do you have people there? Do you have financial people at your auction?
You betcha. The Keebler Federal Credit Union has been at all of our sales forever. They travel and come to our sales. They're out in New Orleans, I believe. Kessler. It's Kessler. I didn't pronounce it right. And they're great.
So you can arrange it right there, and then I'm sure you have transportation guys there too that are ready to take them home.
We don't use it. In fact, it's funny. I had talked with some friends of mine at Passport. Their schedule is such that they couldn't accommodate us, and a lot of our people don't want to ship enclosed, they want to ship open.
Why?
Do you understand an open carrier versus an enclosed truck?
Well,
Yeah,
it's money, basically.
Well, of course it is.
Hmm.
So we've had a long-standing relationship with Tina, and that's the lady's name. She's very, very well known in the industry. She can arrange for both open and enclosed trailers. Pardon me. And she is on site.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
There's another lady that we met on our last trip to Georgia that controls, 50 or 60 open trailers. That's her business, and she's right there locally. So to answer your question, yes.
So you can just go there, buy a car, and have it handled.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
Absolutely. We want to make it as easy as possible to come enjoy the sale. If you see something you want, you don't have to worry about finding a way to get it out of there and get it home. We have people right there on site.
Andy, we only have a couple of minutes left. If you can, time is yours. Wrap it up and all of the particulars about, again, how to contact, how to see stuff, when, where, and how.
Perfect. Atlanta, Georgia, June 28th and 29th at the Convention Center at the airport. It's the Georgia International Convention Center at Hartsfield Airport. The doors open at, actually, I believe it's 10 o'clock. They'll be open 10 to 5 on a daily basis. If you get there at 9 o'clock, we're going to be there. If you get there a little before that, we're still going to be there. So it's not cast in stone. We're there to accommodate people to come to see us. On-site bidder registration is $100, and that's for, you get two people, you get two people entered, you get to come into the auction. That's all included. Just regular daily admission is $15. Children 10 and under is free. With a paid adult. Actually, they were going to open the gates at 8 a.m. But we'll even be there before that. We moved that up earlier. We're expecting a big crowd in Atlanta.
Well, I hope it works.
What else have I left out? There'll be 400 to 500 cars, somewhere in that neighborhood. The website, please go to the website. You can see what's coming. VicariAuctions.com, and Vicari is spelled V like victory, VICARI, auctions.com, auction, singular.com. That's all I can tell you. Any questions, you call me, area code 602-677-6839. That's my mobile number. I'm good 24/7. You can call 24/7.
So if Jim walks in and I can get in if he pays his admission and I come in on my knees and pretend I'm a kid, I get in for free.
We'll let you guys in. Press, the press. It's called the press pass. You guys can come in. We also look. We also, for certain events or certain organizations, we will supply some passes. So if you have something special, you just let us know. Let me know.
Okay. All right. I guess we're done. Thank you for calling, and I hope we talk to you again. And
we will, absolutely. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
Your auto love and investment demands the best, and for 45 years, Passport Transport has been meeting those demands. From manufacturers to the one-car collectors and all other facets of the auto industry and antique auto hobby. The first and the finest with unequaled service and peace of mind. Passport Transport, your auto transportation company. Contact PassportTransport.com with your need today. Passport Transport.
You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening. You for listening.
Good morning and welcome to the Business Hour. I'm Ron Camacho, your host.
What they're getting is the allergies. Because now they're being told that the most.
Today, we're glad to have everyone with us, especially those who are listening while we're live, and of course to everyone who listens. Seem to be, I'm sure it would be in my case if I were in your shoes. You really have a great opportunity to, maybe more so than any of us in surveying, to get a glimpse.
It's only a Category 4 storm by 1 mile per hour. One more have been Category 5.
AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening. You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening. You're listening to America's Web Radio on the AmericasBroadcastNetwork.com. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Immigration Hour on America's Web Radio.
Garden, please post it on our Facebook page and maybe we can answer the question on the air. This morning we are going to be talking to Terry Spike about xeric gardening. Good morning, Terry. How are we doing?
We're doing just great, Kate, and you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, just at the beginning of spring, so hopefully the weather will be great. So let's start.
The pioneer and leader in chat radio. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Doctor's Lounge. Karuchak here. And take notice and say bug certification testing for EMR.
Cravings, and the personal and professional damage done by the effects of 9862, and speak to a
Welcome to America's Homegrown Veggie Show. I'm Daryl Pullis, and my guest today is Daniel Gastiger, author of Yes You Can, and Freeze and Dry It Too. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
I was really, I'm such a nerd that when I started canning 30 or so years ago, I had these big tomes, you probably have them in your library too, the big old stocking up book that's about 500 pages and tells you how to make borscht.
I do have that one, a very old copy of it, and I enjoy looking at it sometimes and thinking it's amazing so many people survived it. So.
Well, yes, there were some methods in there that are no longer recommended. One of the things that struck me about your book, though, when I saw it, is, my goodness, it's a skinny book compared to those. And then I started looking at it, and I was just amazed that you got it all said in a light, easy way with lots of pictures, and you turned it what could be. When I first started canning, if I hadn't watched my grandmother can and my mother, I would have been freaked out if somebody had just presented into applesauce.
Sure. Just can't see myself. I mean, I suppose if things got kind of thing in the book, not specifically with regard to peaches, I thought they were fun. And I actually don't care for commercially canned peaches.
Now, did your wife ever acquiesce to canned pears?
I think I only canned fruit, like stone fruit type things, one season, because there was just such a disparity for her. And I will admit to certain fruits like pears especially, enjoying the fact that I can get them from somewhere else off season. It's really hard for me to turn up that fresh fruit or that recently harvested fruit in exchange for a canned pear. So there are a few where I still break the rules.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed the canned pears that we put up at the farm. And when I had my first store-bought canned Bartlett pear, I just thought